and this week is Samoan Language Week. So, talofa lava and happy Samoan Language Week. Little story before we get started. Cafe
is your word for today. Share that round.
Hang on.
Bodgast. Bodgast.
What's up, podcasters? Talofa lava and happy Samoan Language Week 2025. My name is Dr. Fresh. We are back again for another episode of the podcast. Well, it is Samoan Language Week, so this morning picked up my phone and I said, ChatGPT, can you please take me to the most influential Samoan on my phone? Up popped this name, Toa. So here he is, my man, Dos. Toa, talofa lava, brother.
Malu, support.
That is a true story, Os.
Is it? No. I
The
believe
most influential.
I believe the story where you've looked up all your names, list of names, and I just don't know where my name is on that list that you got, Us, but I know it's around about the bottom.
I'll tell you, man, if you're struggling to, find things in life, ChatGPT, put it in there, man. Most influential Samoan. I sort of put, sort of sexy, but I got into the SEX, and that might have been it.
That might have been it.
To put the Y.
Yes, because I'm definitely one of the.
Hey, where they just read the sex bit and up to his name pop.
Yeah.
But also, you're here. Thank you so much for responding to the call. And like I say, you were the first one to pop up on my phone. So here you are, a proud Samoan that does amazing things in our community. And for those that don't know, works with our young people as well. And got about 30 kids, huh?
Just about. Us.
Working on it,
No, thank you. Thanks for inviting me over here. I don't usually get out and do this kind of stuff, but influential, I don't know about the influential, but I'm pretty sure this is probably some of the first time people seen me here.
Hey, to the millions and millions of viewers, there's the man himself. Follow him on Instagram and TikTok and everywhere else because he's a good follow, trust me. He's a good follow. Anyway, also for all our viewers, just tell us a little bit about yourself, a bit of an introduction.
Yeah, olo ingoa o Uatoa Paito. Olo tima so mai sare sa tele, alo tina so mai Vaiaso. So my name is Toa. I'm not born here, but born in Auckland, but practically bred here in Tokoroa. Moved away to Napier for about 15 years, and only recently moved back to Tokoroa about 6 years ago, and got into the space with the YMCA, working with young children and working with young kids and helping the youth, get to where they need to get to, and hopefully influence them into some good things.
You got to be doing something right, also, because working with young people, young rangatahi, you look pretty good, man. You've got no grey hair.
No.
Hey, you're obviously aging well, bro. So you're doing something right in that space, huh?
Yeah, no, it's my wife and my kids that keep me young. My kids just getting involved with all the community stuff that they get into with the sports and stuff. And my wife, she definitely keeps you young by just lining up chores for me to do on the weekends that I don't get to do.
Love it, eh? All the wheaus, man. Eh?
All the wheaus, and it's a long list.
Love it all. So your wife, how many kids you got?
6 kids. Oldest is 25. He'll probably tell me a different number because and my youngest
25.
is yeah.
Oh, she only look like 32.
You know what? I've just thought about it. He's not 25. He's 24. He's 23. 23, and my youngest is 13. 13, nice. And so currently got 3 at the high school and 3 out there in the world doing stuff.
Now I've got to ask you, because people won't know this about you. Now, all your kids' names all start with the letter V.
Yes.
True story?
Yes. So,
Can you give us a backstory about that?
Well, I haven't named any of my kids. My wife got to name all my kids and her family, and some of my brothers and sisters named some of the kids. But they all start with V, from Vonte, who was my oldest, to Vashawn, who's my youngest. And then sometimes when I go to the doctors and say the names, people think that they're African American, some of the names that come up. But all of my kids all have Samoan names, which my mother had named them. From Solomona to, and all the names are all from my mum's side of the family, my dad's side of the family, and so they're all involved in the naming of the kids.
The V must be...
The V is my wife's family. So my wife's family, they name their kids, as soon as they name their kids the first name, then all their kids just follow after that. For example, my cousins in Pataru, the Marshes, and all their names start with M. So when my wife when we had the first kid, Vonte, if I knew that was going to be the case, I wouldn't have had visas, because we're starting to run out before or not have as much kids as we did.
I love it, man. That's a cool story, man. Because you don't see that often,
No.
So when you see that, in spaces, I think it's quite cool. It's definitely original.
Yeah. It's a bit funny now. Like you talk about it. Like our generation was always naming the kids, giving them an English name to go for school and stuff like that. And always naming the kids the ethnic name, in our generation it was like an ethnic name came second. But now I look around and just the language with everyone's, all these young parents coming up, like their first names are now like Solomona, and everyone's using their language now to name their kids in the first name instead of the second name, because it's so much more accepted at schools now. So that's why I found
it was harder nowadays at school.
Yeah.
You had to sort of, the correct pronunciation of your name is Uatoa, right?
Yeah, Uatoa.
Yeah.
So when I went to school, it was like, so the English people, but European people, they always take the first half of your name out. Like, so it was always Ua. They say Ua, and then when I started growing up and then hanging out with all my Gagana mates and stuff like that, and I started finding out, oh hey, that's not quite, that's not nice.
Yeah.
So I started
I was about to say that. I was about to say that's not
so
very
Gagana
nice,
language trick, if you know me as Ua, you call me Toa from now on.
I love how you pulled that out, because you can see I was about to say that. That's actually not a very, that's cool. And then obviously, Toa, but then some people just call you Toa.
Toa, yeah. And I find that we do that ourselves as island people, Māori people. We try to simplify our names to make everyone else feel comfortable. And that's how we used to do it back in the day and when I was growing up. But now I find like people are more accepting of language, of people's cultures.
They want to learn.
They want to learn, yeah. So
I remember that. I remember that fully back in the days where, just simple names was how you got by. Cause, people don't actually know.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you went to school with a name that was hard to pronounce, you got teased, man. Like people teased you because you had a different name.
Yeah.
And then I remember coming through the generations where, people started thinking of these fancy names, like this, and that. I even still remember my brother when he wanted to call his kid Trey. I was like, Chili, Trey of what? Trey of eggs.
Yeah.
Like for us, that was a bit different.
Yeah.
But then we went through that generation of that being acceptable.
Yeah.
Now, like you say, we're back to where we probably should have been.
Yeah.
Hey, doesn't matter what your name.
Everyone's proud of their culture, proud of where we come from, and now we're like inserting our language everywhere. Into our name, and it's just starting with our names at school, man. I go to school, do the Oscar run, and then you go see all these names, and then, you see Tamati and just all these ethnic names, island names, like as first names instead of second names.
Yep.
We always tend to have pushed it back in the day, back in my day, even when I started being a parent,
No, hara. It is Samoan Language Week also. Obviously, both your parents are Samoan. Just tell us about your parents, a little bit about your parents and your siblings.
Yeah, so I have 4 siblings here in Tokoroa. One sibling here now, 2 brothers that are staying here now in Tokoroa, and the rest are over in Australia and Perth. My mother and father, though, old school family from Tokoroa, brought up in, when they moved over from Samoa, they came straight to Tokoroa. My father passed away about 20 years ago. Shucks, 20 years ago. Shucks, I'm so
Time
old.
flies,
Yeah.
Time flies, man.
Yeah. And my mother's...
Especially when we took it in that sense. 20
Yeah.
years, 20 years ago.
Yes. But my mother passed away just recently last year. But with them, man, it was always church hard. So with language and culture, it was just church hard. So everything I learned from reading to writing, even just writing, was all through church and through Sunday school, through mum just drilling it into us every night, doing devotion. So as soon as the lights go off, first, when you're growing up, it's like, oh man, it's dark time. It's gonna be time for local soon.
It's funny though how you say that, because that's how it was, you know. And when we're young, we're like, oh man, sick of local, man.
Yeah.
But when we sort of, grow up, become adults, have our own kids, then we can actually look back and actually really appreciate what our parents are trying to install in us, right, Ulz?
Yeah. No, you're right, Ulz. Like, it's... I kind of, you miss that. You look around at the kids, and then you... And even in the space that I'm working in at the moment, you realise that the kids are missing out on their grandparents. The grandparents used to take you to church, used to take you to just functions and things, and you see, especially with the kids that I work with now, you see that they miss that kind of relationship. And I guess I was just lucky, and I didn't realise it till now. And watching with my kids, you don't realise it till now how lucky you are, how lucky you have been. All these things that I've said about my parents. Stuff going to church, but not to them, in the room, in the room, punching the ear.
It's funny, man, because I know a lot of people, in regards to our culture, some people might say, that's abuse, man, that's this, that's that. But everyone was brought up very, very similar. God was number one in the house. Then followed closely by, I suppose, respect, discipline. Which boils down to doing your fa'aus. Doing this, doing that, making sure the whole house runs. And every Samoan family was brought up very similar. And if you stepped out of line, you got put back in line very quickly. Very quickly.
And there probably wasn't even a person in your family. There's not blood related. That's the other thing that's missing. So people could just rock up and just say, "Hey, what are you up to?" And you would have that respect in you to just be acceptful of that. And shucks, sorry, man.
I remember our days at school. If the principal had rung up my mum and said to her, your son, or told me to get, bro, I'm dead, bro. I'm like, I'm dead, bro. My mum drives to school, picks me up, and not saying that ever happened to me. I'm much more wiser than that. But that's literally the era we grew up in. Your mother pick you up, man, take you home, bro, and they're either calling stuff like ghetto funeral services to, or bro, it's these days.
Even the police. I remember, like my mum used to take care of heaps of like naughty kids, from my families, from on her on my dad's side and my mum's side. She used to take care of these of naughty kids. They always used to get sent down to us, So we grew up with heaps of different cousins, and I remember one time I seen my cousin, he lived in Napier, I seen him, in Wellington, he seen him rock up to our school. And I was like, oh, hey, man, what are you up to? And then he just was like, oh, hey, shook my hand, ran off. The police come running after him. And I find out that he's like on the way from walking from Forestry to Lakeside. I found out that he had stolen the car and come up to Turk. But anyway, get home, and I guess the police car's up the driveway, and all I hear is my cousins in the city going, Uncle Eko fire! Let's say, I'm not going to do it again. And so the police they picked them up. Instead of taking to the station, they took him home to my mum. And then he just didn't get a hiding, and then took him back to Wellington. Yeah. So it's like,
I tell you, that's how I got plenty of memories of. That's how police in the old days used to work with community.
Yeah.
Let's go home to your, parents. Let's, what are we gonna do? Can we sort this out? And okay, cool. We'll leave it with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I still remember.
It's a bit different nowadays.
Oh, very different nowadays.
Because they're gonna get home and they're just gonna get a growling now.
Can't do anything. But that's how it was. I remember that very clearly.
Yeah.
I still remember the first time I stole a chocolate bar from UWorld.
Yeah.
The guy, he just kindly tapped me on, what's in your pocket, son?
Yeah.
Or, Dad sent me to buy a corned beef, but I stole a chocolate because I couldn't afford a chocolate after I paid for the corned beef. But, he rang my dad. What do you want me to do with him? Send him home. Oh, yeah. Longest walk home ever.
Yeah.
And you got your lesson.
Yeah.
I got to do that again, man. But man, the world's changed.
The world's changes.
And I might say, maybe not in the Samoan world. It's to be honest, I think it's still very similar.
Yeah.
How people bring up their kids. I mean, I wasn't as strict, I suppose, as a parent. There's a line. If you cross it, we got an issue.
Yeah.
Unlike when we grew up, there was no line.
No line. It's black and white, no grey.
Like
no mixing of colours over here, mate. Just black and white.
Boom, 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 boom. It's just, you did this, you did it.
Yeah.
There was no bartering system or dad, can I? No. It was, you do it.
Yeah.
And you learn. And I suppose as parents, Samoan parents, we're a little bit different the way we brought up our kids. But, man, I got no issue with how my mum brought us up, man.
Yeah.
Like when I see the world today and the kids, the young people, I sort of feel a little bit sorry for them because, they don't know what they're up to.
Yeah.
They're used to doing all these things. So when you tell them, hey, what are you doing? You shouldn't be doing that. They look at you like, up to you.
Up
to, G. What are you up? I've been doing this.
And those up to eyes used to get knocked straight out of your head.
Yo, hard out. True stories, man. True stories. I still remember that time I came to visit your students, your space.
Yeah.
I remember I think we were sitting there with a couple of boys, and there was that one boy, I'm not sure if you remember, he was rocking his chair and he was banging on the wall.
Yeah.
And as we were in the foyer there, he was kept banging, just rocking. I was getting really annoyed with him, and the enemy wanted to get. But, obviously we can't do that because that's not how we.
No.
So I remember saying to him, hey, do you know, if I did that and my mum was sitting here when I was your age, do you know what she would have done? And he was like, oh, what? I said, she would have picked my head up and slammed my head into the wall. And my head would have been stuck into the wall because I continued to rock the chair and bang the wall. And he sort of looked at me. And I remember you were there because you were like, true story. True story. I was just trying to make the kid realise that the world's different. But if I'd done that back in my day, this is what would have happened. And then I said, she would have left my head there too. Yeah. She wouldn't have helped me out. She would have left it in the wall. So I would have learnt my lesson. Now, some people might say, wow, that's a bit rough. But it's the lesson of you're sitting in a chair. It's not your chair.
Yeah.
It's not your wall.
Yeah.
Why are you rocking the chair and banging the wall? You're not respecting it. So I'll teach you what happens when you don't respect something that isn't yours. Lessons like that go a long ways. And sometimes I think, a lot of times I think our kids really miss that these days.
Yeah, that's what I mean, man. It's like, You miss our grandparents. It's like, I think because our grandparents are getting younger as well. Like myself, I'm going to be a grandparent soon.
Yeah, congrats, Ulz.
Oh, thanks.
Hey, you look young for a father, young for a grandfather.
No, it's definitely not young. See, but yeah, man, so the grandparents are getting younger, and yeah, we just don't have that anymore, man. That's what we miss. It's
the guy. That's the guy you bought in the background.
Yeah, I know.
He just spills it all over the floor, man.
You know, I'm just sitting here, I was like sweating hard out too. These lights, like,
Also, you can take your coat off while we're talking, or say, feel free to do whatever you like.
No, because I had a feed today.
Oh yeah,
and I don't eat clean. My jersey's dirty.
I love it. Just as long as you don't take it off a while, if you don't get too comfortable. Personally, I mean, upbringing. We talked about your upbringing. Obviously, you went to school here.
Yeah.
I remember back in the days, you were pretty popular Samoan individual, not only at primary and intermediate, but at high school as well.
High school, yeah. I loved high school. I wish I could have locked down better at high school. I mean, you always do your regrets after you've left and stuff like that. But culturally, we didn't really have a poly group, thanks to Moana and Soup. They really drilled in heaps of culture into our school to start off, especially starting the Polyniti Whaatasi. I think it's called, what's it called now? Polyniti.
Not sure. What's it called?
Oh, is it?
I couldn't hear that. What did you say?
You said, oh, sorry for knocking the stuff over. No, it's the same thing. Polyniti Whaatasi, I think it's called now. But yeah, them starting that at high school, in my last year of high school, really helped out with the culture and stuff. My brother Soup, he was harder always with the Samoan language, Samoan culture. He always tried to instill all that kind of stuff in me as well. But no, me in high school, I just phew. And now I'm trying to do it now, like in this time with Soup, but it's now he's busy and stuff like that. But he's helped me out heaps with the culture, especially in high school. Him and Mons was just a real big part of our culture, bringing culture back into Forestry High School when I was there. It was just a shame. It was just the end of the year for us, end of our last year. Our last year there.
I mean, that's changed too these days, like kids do so many things these days,
Yeah.
They go here, there, everywhere, halfway around the world.
I know. And
we didn't go, I can't even remember us getting a trip to Patararu.
Oh, during those times, especially Christmas time, man, it was just like everyone going. I'm pretty sure it's the same for the Samoan families, everyone going to trips and stuff like that. But here's us going up to Blueberry Hill at Christmas time too.
Pick the blueberries.
Yeah, big blueberries. So it's like all the Samoan families. That's what I used to love back in the day. You'd go up and in Christmas, you go up, you'll meet everyone at the orchard, blueberry picking, and then lunchtime, everyone would all leave. We would all leave and then go to the sports ground and play kirikiki. That was every Christmas, man. And it was just so much fun, man. It was not so much the cricket, because I sucked at cricket.
Yeah. Those oversized bats,
yeah.
oversized to the max. I don't know how you're supposed to hit anything, but anyway.
Yeah, but it was just meeting up with people that you don't see all the time, and just the whole Samoan community together. And then it was always a social at the end of the season.
Bro, I got a funny story about the blueberry orchard too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention the Samoan family, but I remember one time we went out there with a Samoan family, Yeah, I won't do it.
No, do it, please.
I can't do it.
Because the amount of blueberry stories that we got, me and Okuso, my cousin.
This is how funny this was. Auntie at the time, she said, come on, let's go pick some blueberries.
Yeah.
They're on special.
Yeah.
I think it was $3.95 a kilo. I don't know, it was something like that.
Yeah.
So we went out to this blueberry place.
Yeah.
We all got out with our containers
Yeah.
because she wanted to buy some blueberries because the price a kilo was really cheap. Hey, so we were all standing there, and the lady comes and says, "Oh, you know, are you here to get some blueberries?"
Yeah.
And my auntie's like, "Yeah, really cheap, $3.95 a kilo."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh no, we're not selling them."
Yeah. You've become part of the workforce.
We pay you $3.95 a kilo for every kilo you pick. But we were standing there, and I'll never forget it. Man, I mean, we laughed because we were just wise holes. You know, because they must have been cheap. $3.95 is the price that come to my head, but till we were back in the van and gone, bro.
No, you're the lucky one, said.
Well, we're not here to pick up, you know, but we're here to buy something special, you know. No, we pay you, pick it, and we pay you, and it's like.
I just remember blueberry picking in Christmas, man, and the fights. Oh, no, not the fights, but the arguments in blueberry picking. The people picking in your row.
Yeah.
Like the fights. This isn't your line.
Competitive, huh?
Fussels
on.
And then it was like, and so my mum used to use like my IRD number, so you get when you get text.
So you get a text bill. I love that. So you get a text bill. Woohoo!
And that's the other thing about like Islanders, especially the older ones, man, their maths, hey.
Yo.
So like they would never my mum would never let me use the calculator. Wouldn't buy me one for school and stuff. She just says use your head.
Yo.
So I'm dumb at maths.
Oh, so you didn't use your head?
No, I used my head not to do it properly.
Did you use your other head?
Yeah.
What head am I talking about? Heads up.
So head of lettuce.
Head of cauliflower. Love it, man. Love it all. No, but those are some funny stories, man, because sometimes to get by, that's what Samoan people did.
Yeah.
You know, they did anything to get by and to make a living. You know, any extra money they could earn, whether it was blueberries. I mean, I remember onion picking. You know, not that I did it, but sometimes I go out and have the usos and I think blueberries was better because onions you had to bend over and but our families went through a lot of that stuff,
hustlers,
just to make it work.
Family. I think our mums and dads' generations were just all hustlers. They knew how to get money. You know where to get it from, and they were just so
I
good
remember
with money.
too. My dad used to always buy. He loved his lamb, lamb or hoggets.
Oh yeah,
hoggets. Or mutton, but I always liked the lamb because it was softer. But whatever was on special, the old man would buy whether it was the whole sheep, whole hogget, whole lamb, and they'd use every single bit of that for some type of dish.
Yeah.
And I know some people, especially Parangis, thought, bro, that's weird, bro, you don't eat that.
Yeah.
I don't know any other way. I mean, what do they call them now? Lamb shanks. When I grew up, they were called knuckles.
Yeah.
True story. No one ate them. They were rubbish. No, like Parangi, sorry. Islanders ate them.
Yeah.
But when I grew up, we knew them as knuckles. Knuckles. They were never lamb shanks.
Yeah.
They were knuckles, and people who were in their upper echelon didn't eat it because it was rubbish meat. Because you had to, take your time and cook it and braise it, and it was all about that.
Yeah.
So when I used to say, to my Parangi mates, we had knuckles. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's the stuff off the lamb, off the sheep. Oh, bro, that's rubbish. These days they sell them in the in the bush for $45 for a lamb shank. But back in our days, like even lamb flaps, that's never been anything entertaining that.
I know.
Anyone.
I used to say lamb flaps and people used to laugh and like, hey.
Oh. And we were used to, and when I say, and the reason why I say lamb flaps, because Samoans, lamb flaps,
curry, lamb flap,
lamb flaps, sapsui lamb flaps. Like, I was so used to that all the time, that part of the lamb.
Barbecue,
just all the, but everyone else lamp flaps.
We used to have like I used to tell on my class and stuff, you know, when they talk about the lunches and stuff like that, or the food they get. I'm like, dude, man, we used to eat pakua more, chicken backs.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the chicken
back soup,
man.
chicken back curry.
Mum used to order
chicken frames,
chicken frames, chicken frames. Both, and you could get them in the teakle box.
And the necks, that's.
Bro, I remember Mum used to buy the whole, you know, and it was just how you lived. That's how they were brought up. They were brought up that way, and even though if you were living, you know, a comfortable life, you still grinded, you know. Your parents didn't go out and buy the best steak or they still bought, you know, the things that they were used to and how they were brought up in the islands. And so I'm like you, so
just buy as you need.
Brought up with all those sorts of things, you know, like, and you know your parangi mates would, you know. Hey.
I didn't like do like $300, $400 shopping like in one go till
2024.
No, so with my wife we go to do the shopping. I'm like, hey, Mum just buys as we go. I get it, man.
But that was unheard of back in our days, you know, large, you know. But nah, man, I feel you, man. That's how my mum was with us. You know, we learned how every piece of the anatomy of a moa or, you know, or a mamoi, how they could all be used.
You know,
the one thing I didn't know was pua'a, because, you know, we were us whikos, we didn't eat pua'a, so we didn't know. So obviously your family would have known every piece.
Pig's head. Me and my brother used to have competition of you know, do you know there's meat around here? Oh, do you know there's meat underneath the gum? Or do you know?
And you know what? Also, to be honest, if you know where to look, like I can't do it, but if you picked it for me, you know, you'll be shocked at how much meat there is in a
pig's head. Oh yeah, man. Yeah,
it's crazy, man.
Yeah, and then I married a Maoli, Nolene, and it's the first time I had brawn, and then found out that it was like the whole pig's head. And then there was another level, man. Another level.
And it takes them a few hours to make their brawn up.
It's
the smell I can't, you know, sort of stomach at first. But once it's, you know, in that pate style,
man. I used to give my my father and my wife's mother's boyfriend to cook it for us all the time. Every time they came, I loved it. After, you know, then you don't waste anything.
Bro, that's.
Now we're going on to pig's head.
That's our upbringing. Now, we're not trying to be disrespectful to anyone who's watching this who had a different upbringing, but all we're saying, you know, growing up as Samoans, as Pacific Islanders, you know, we learned how every piece of the, you know, of the
nothing
moa,
wasted, man.
Everything was used, man. It was put into something, whether it was put into a ball up or soup. You know, there was always.
And get a little flippin' twack if you didn't eat all the meat off your bone.
There you go. Hey, you had to, you know.
Because now people look at me weird when I sucked all the meat off the bone, cartilage and all that.
Because I remember when I used to, first I started off liking chicken breasts.
Yeah.
Then I went to legs. But I used to eat my leg like a normal parangi. Mum used to say to me, son, you know, you tick it off and
every morsel, because you don't know when the next one's going to come.
It's a true story, man. Anyway, Samoan Language Week. Tell me what it's like being Samoan.
What it's like to be Samoan. It's definitely, you know, it's definitely a pride thing. It's definitely, I'm definitely proud to be Samoan. Proud to see. I love seeing our people out there doing stuff, man. I love the culture. Sometimes my boss, Julia, said to me sometimes, because we get a bit complacent and we get a bit, we're very respectful people, and it gets drilled in us from a very young age, respect. And then we end up taking it a bit too far, I think, where we almost lose our own voice. Because we respect too much and we almost lose our own voice, where we don't say things where we should be saying things. And this, when I look at people now and I see them, I see our Samoan people out there doing stuff. It just, shucks, man, it feels a big part of me, of my heart, because I've always had to step back, whakamaulalo, you know. And we get that drilled into us hard out, man, since from a young age. And then sometimes we end up missing out on stuff because we push other people into the front. And then, and we serve, and until it's like, I see our people serve until they pass away, you know what I mean? And then don't get acknowledged until they pass away, of their service until they pass away.
Do you think
that's what I see. That's
do you
what
think we have a bad habit of doing that?
I feel, man,
we don't do it enough while they're alive or while they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
They seem to get their, credit when they're not here.
Yes, I see that sometimes, man, and I feel that sometimes, and it's just, I don't know how to explain it. Jules said to me one time, it's like, that's your problem sometimes. You respect too much, you respect too hard, where people sometimes walk over you, and then not just us, my thing. It's a our thing, a Samoa thing, island thing. We respect you so much where people take that respect and they just take advantage of it sometimes.
It's interesting you mention that, because that's how we are. That's how we're brought up. Huh?
Yeah.
I've had some people say to me, sometimes you're too soft. Well, I'm not actually.
Yeah.
I'm just respecting you.
Yeah.
And I get the respect back.
Yeah, we take a step back to push people forward sometimes.
It's just, Like, I don't think we're brought up to be assholes.
No.
My mum always, and my dad always said to me, you respect others, they'll respect you. But I don't know if that's a generational thing that's gotten worse. I don't know whether that's different cultures do it a different way. But I know what you're talking about, because that's how we are as a people.
Yeah.
Our actions speak louder than our words.
Yeah.
That's the way I think.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, and you see that, man. Like, sometimes. I don't know what I'm saying now.
Just say it all. Say it.
No, sometimes you just become a slave to being respectful. You become a slave to respect. The word respect, where you just do it all the time and just become second nature. But then people take advantage of that too.
Yep. Oh, definitely.
And
definitely.
And being the type of person, you see that, but then you just carry on anyway.
Yeah.
Because you're being respectful.
Yeah. Hard.
So you just carry on doing it, but you see that people are taking advantage of you, and you end up complaining and stuff. But then you just carry on and do it anyway. Because that's our island way of doing stuff. Eh?
Yeah.
My mum used to say, do it now, complain later. Listen now, complain later.
Yeah. That's fair too. I mean, that's how I remember it. Like, in this instance, your feelings don't count. You just do what you got to do. You do what you got to do,
and I think we've taken it into our work. We've taken it into our relationships and stuff like that. But now I see like these influencers out there. Our brown people out there doing stuff, man, on TikTok, on Instagram, in schools, in Parliament,
Yeah, hard out. And some of them have the upbringing.
Yeah.
Some of them don't, and sometimes I feel, they get a bit lost. Like, is there a certain way to be Samoan? I mean, what do you think, Gils?
Like, learning the language, learning the culture, that's one way. But as long as you keep your values, your Samoan values intact, that's your Samoan enough for me. You know what I mean? As long as you're listening to your parents, man. 'Cause, respecting your elders. That's Samoan to me. Hey,
Well, that was the key. I mean, we talked about it earlier, you know, it was always God, respect.
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
And respect first went to your parents, you know, like honour your father and your mother.
yeah, yeah.
So that days may be long upon the, you know. You know, it was always there. You just honour your parents, man. You know, I love God, honour your parents.
So all those value stuff, that's Samoan to me. Yeah, the culture and the language. I mean, I'm not saying that because my Samoan's not good or whatever. It's just because my kids' Samoan's not good, but they're still proud to be called Samoans, you know, because of the way they carry themselves. The way you carry yourself, man. That's how you respect your culture, you respect your family. Yeah. Is that all good? Was I just rambling just then?
No, I feel you, man. No, you're right, because, I mean, you know, people think you need to be able to speak Samoan to be Samoan. You need to be this, you need to be that, you need to get back to the islands and get back to your village. Oh, stop it. That's, you know, for me, that's a whole lot of cogwash. If you're able to and you do that, good on you. If you can't, doesn't mean you ain't Samoan. You know, there's all sorts of. But for me,
spreading your culture around, whether it be dance and language or just the values. That's a value spreading the cultures of your values that your culture has. That's being a Pacific Islander to me. To being Samoan, being just being a good person, man.
Yeah. I feel you. Respect, love, happiness. Some other cultures do it a little bit differently. I won't mention what they are. But that's for another
guest also.
But that's one thing when I grew up I always noticed was different. You know, the way Samoans were to other cultures.
Yeah.
Like it just wasn't the same. Like there were certain things I could do.
Yeah.
That if I did that with my mum, mate, I'd be here. Like just
that's the thing, man. I think we got brainwashed from like how other cultures treat each other. You know, I feel we've got brainwashed. I don't want to be that guy, but I feel we've got brainwashed from like the Balangi way of doing stuff. They brainwashed of that Samoans are only good at this, do this. Māoris do this, they don't do that. So our cultures clash, you know what I mean? And we've never been able to come together because there's always been an underlying, I don't want to say racism, but like a view of each other's culture, where it's kind of separated us, everyone. Shucks, I didn't even know what I just said just then. But like, you know, when we come, like, cause I always say to my brother, man, it's like, hey man, we're pretty racist Samoans, man. Like the way we talk about other, but it's the same with other cultures. And then I've started to think, man, that's just how people want us to be, so we don't come together.
Hey, since you went there, I'm gonna go there. Since you went there, I'm gonna go there. So when you grew up, did your mum tell you, don't you bring home a Māori?
Oh yeah, man. So when I came home with my beautiful wife Nolene, she was a big no-go. And my dad, because he just had the stereotype of Māoris, the same way as Māoris has stereotypes of Samoans.
They do it too.
Yeah. So all he talked to Nolene about was like, you know, I'm Māori. I remember I went to this party and we got drunk with all. So it's always trying. So he just told him all the tricky stories, you know, because he thought that's what Māoris are like. I was like, that's what I mean about the stereotypes that people have put on top of each other's cultures.
That's funny. That's how I crack up. What did your mum say?
She was so good, man, because my mum just loved, man. But she was so good. Not at first.
But that is a stereotype that did exist.
Yeah.
It did exist. Some people
some like fobs, you know, fresh, good at rugby.
I tend to feel when the All Blacks became more Samoan dominated,
Yeah.
you know, in the late 90s, early 2000s,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sort of stereotype sort of changed.
Oi, yeah.
You know, because
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
one stage there were probably 8 Samoans in the All Blacks.
Yeah.
8 to 9 Samoans in the All Blacks, right?
I remember doing like chatting away with my mate. We were talking away, about the rugby. We always it's my Maori mate in Napier, and we always have a little banta Samoa Maori banta, and then got onto the All Blacks and stuff. And I was like, hey, you know, tell us the captain now, eh? And then they're like, oh yeah. So who's going to lead the haka now? And I was like, no, we still go. Oh no, it's all right. We'll just bring someone from the bench to lead the haka now. So I have a little banter like that.
I love it, dude. I love it. It all exists and it's all part of, I suppose, growth and movement in all cultures also.
Yeah.
Whether it's Samoan, you know, Lalakonga, Maori, but there are a lot more of our kids out there these days that are full of all sorts of cultures. you know. There's not just, you know,
This is
Samoan
be
or Maori
more
or-
sensitive about stuff,
Oh.
man. Yeah.
I tell you, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Man, it's been a good Talanoa, man, catching up.
Yeah, sorry,
If you having
it's
a-
just
having
about
a
my
chat.
rambles, man.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good, man. It's, you know, someone from our era understands, still looks really young.
Surely.
You know, still doing an amazing thing at the YMCA and
Nah, thank you.
with all our you know, kids, and still, you know, being a dad first and foremost, a supportive husband, about to be a granddad, which is pretty cool, bro.
Yeah,
So
thanks, man.
So just want to ask you before we wrap things up, what's your go-to Samoan dish?
My go-to Samoan dish for myself to cook.
Just, you know,
Oh,
general, cook whatever in general.
luau, man. I like luau. Sorry, I get the runs, man. I get like such a bad sore stomach from it. But
How can we get a sore stomach from it? Is it the coconut cream, or is it eat too much of it? Or?
You know, I was brought up in white tokoroa, and you know, the era of white tokoroa.
Is it down to the length of time you cook the leaf? Or?
No, I think it's just a bit bitter, man. The coconut cream, I don't think I can handle like heaps of it, but shucks, man, I love it. I didn't care. I'll sacrifice my stomach to eat some of that stuff. And yes, it's just luau kalos.
Got to kalo, eh?
Yeah. So anyone out there, man, I was looking for some luau the other day, and no one put some around, or no one even put their hand up to say they had some. So if he's out there, man,
Silly,
hook us
fresh
up.
kalo, frozen kalo?
Any kalos.
Any kalo,
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Any kalo, Fiji
kalo.
and kalo, kukala and kalo, Samoa.
Vanuatu kalo.
Vanuatu kalo.
Nah, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, it's good for people to know. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone has their favourite.
Yeah, yeah.
Last question, Urs.
Yes.
There's one thing you could implement into our way of life here in Tokoroa in regards to our Samoan culture. I know that's a pretty big question.
Yeah.
You know, what would that be? Whether it be, you know, a Samoan league team in Tokoroa or a basketball Samoa. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Is
I'd
there
like
something
to
you
see,
might want to or would want to implement also for our Samoan community, for
Samoan
all
community?
people?
Yeah, I would like to see, or just like a youth group where they go and pick up all these young Samoans just hanging around, you know, the kids, not just, you know, because everyone's like separated in our own churches. Having a youth group where all these Samoan kids just go meet up one day, do activities, whether it's, whether we find a place where it's like even like a sports, because we've got so much talent here, and it doesn't get publicised, or, you know, and I'm a big advocate for keeping our talent in Tokoroa. So probably just finding our talented kids, or just getting some sort of youth group where the kids can get together, our Samoan kids, learn the culture, learn the ways of doing stuff. I know there's like classes and stuff that's happening at the moment, but maybe we just, you know, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. Some sort of
exactly.
sort of space where we can just go pick up all these kids, man, at the skate park. these Samoan kids, these, you know, if it's for Samoan kids, you know, and then just getting together, just getting all these kids, because we're always separated by churches, and we never really hang out with each other or see each other till we go to
It's
sports.
interesting you mention that because churches are very competitive too, huh?
Yes, yeah, man.
It's a true story, man. It's a true story. You know, I'm glad you just touched on that before we're ending. You know, like people watching this probably think, hey, everyone's all one big happy family, but everyone's competitive in their own little space, in their own little church group, and do their own thing.
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, I haven't been to church in a little while now. So, okay, maybe
it's a church. I hear you, though. I hear you. You know, like
Yeah.
maybe breaking down some of those walls and working a lot more together as a culture rather than, you know, staying in your own.
My son does. Oh, no, doesn't matter. Never mind.
Yeah. He wants to join the Kalipis.
Yeah. Yes, the Kalipis.
Love it, also. Well, my man, I appreciate you, also. Appreciate you
thanks for
coming in,
having me.
and you know, it's not easy to sit here and have a chat with me.
No.
But me and you go way back, so it's simple.
No.
It's just two usos having
Thanks,
a
yes.
taranō. So good luck with your grandchild coming up. And
cheers,
love to your wife and all your kids
Thank
also. And big ups to everyone at the YMCA. Huh? My man, Maus.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maus. Appreciate it. There we have it, podcaster, Samoan Language Week podcast with the Uso, the man himself, Uatoa Paito. Thank you so much for joining us today, Us. My name is Dr. Fresh. We'll catch you next time on the podcast. Till then, take care. Podcast. You want to do one, bro? Hey, you can sing it for us, bro.
Sorry.